Here we have ourselves another lore battle. Myself and Sipa playing it out. It is the battle to end the Sundering, the war where the Dark Elves weren't quite yet a different race. They were still just a sub-faction of the High Elves, led by Malekith. And the High Elves were actually led by Imric, but not the Imric we know in Total War. It's Imric the First. Imric's great-great-grandfather. But since he looks almost the same and rides a dragon and does all this stuff, I thought I would just take Imric. So once again, like the Queek video, we will go more through what actually happened in the battle at the end and see how close we got. But it was north of, I believe it's the Phoenix Gate. It's the Phoenix Gate or the Eagle Gate, but I believe it's the Phoenix Gate. North of the Phoenix Gate, next to the ocean, there's a very thin strip of land that the High Elves were forced to fight on, and they had a good choke point, so we chose this map that has a pretty good choke point. So, a bit of that. Now, on the side of the Dark Elves and Malekith, I didn't have access to their whole roster because I wanted to make a lore-accurate army, which I did. So they can't have any Cold One riders, so no Dread Knights or anything like that because they found the Cold Ones later. We do have a Master. I can't put him on a Manticore because that's not a mount for him, but Malekith did have a little sidekick in the air, so I put him on a Dark Pegasus. Malekith himself on his dragon, the first of the Black Dragons. 2 Feral Manticores from the hills, a War Hydra, and a Charybdis, also from the hills of Ulthuan, where those are the things that the Cracian hunters usually hunt. We have some Witch Elves and some Sisters of Slaughter, led by Crone Hellebron. Now, in this case, it's just a Death Hag, but yes, Crone Hellebron was alive back then. She led the first of the Canate cultists. Some Dark Riders are the only cavalry that the Dark Elves really had in the Ulthuan thing. Bleak Swords and Dread Spears. And some Dark Shards, which they got their repeater crossbows from the Dwarves, funny enough. 2 Reaper Bolt Throwers. On the other side, for Imric, we do have Imric himself, who is currently losing his goddamn mind after being Bolt Throwered. And then we have a Moon Dragon and a Sun Dragon, as Imric awoke the Dragons of Kalador and used them to fight. You have some Valyrian Reavers and White Lions of Crace up in the hills, since they are much more accustomed to that high format. Some Spearmen frontline, Silver Helms, and Dragon Princes on the ground, 2 Tyrannok Chariots, 4 Archers, some 3 Lothern Seaguard, the Phoenix Guard, a Lore Master of Hoeth, and a Mage of High Magic. So really did get Ulthuan united here. Dragons getting out their breath attacks, and then they're going to try to assert their dominance of the skies. Imric has a brief little duel with Malekith, but it was like 4v1, so he's just going to back off, and Word of Pain lowers his melee attack, which is actually pretty lore accurate. Malekith was casting spells that kept distracting Imric in the skies, like it would make his brain buzz and shit. So both sides had sallied forth with their flying monsters trying to assert dominance, but Dark Shards and Lothern Seaguard on either side pushed them back. Front lines will continue moving forward now. Silver Helms and the Dragon Princess are on the low ground. Their heavy armor, I thought they would be more suited to a low ground fight than up in the woods like the Valyrian Reavers. And Malekith is now getting in some breath attacks of his own onto the Phoenix Guard as the High Elf Spears move up. I'm just trying to get in range for my Archers and Lothern Seaguard to start firing back into the enemy lines, maybe onto the Witch Elves, maybe on the Charybdis or the Dark Shards. But the Dark Shards are shielded, which is going to be a bit of a problem. Lore Master of Hoeth will take up the front line mantle, giving leadership and spell resist for the units he is near. The High Elves, myself, I guess, but the High Elves seem generally content to this early trading of archers. Malekith dives in onto the Lore Master of Hoeth, but with Spearmen around, he feels like he might be okay. Harpies from the enemy are moving in, but my Valyrian Reavers have gotten into a vast flank to shut down those bolt throwers and give my dragons a little more freedom. Dragons are once again going to try and assert dominance. They're going to fight some Manticores while Malekith's busy doing other things. My Valyrian Reavers are free and clear, dive onto the bolt throwers and get rid of them. So that'll be a nice win for the High Elves. My White Lions of Crace are coming down from the Highlands. My Sun Dragon is looking to get a cheeky breath attack onto some elite infantry somewhere. Now the Manticores that have dove into the back line are having a bad time. Moon Dragon is shutting that one down. And Malekith just breath attacked my Phoenix Guard, which I did not like. Imric's up in the sky. I think I need to get over onto Malekith, but I must have just didn't... I didn't issue command orders very well because I was distracted. My Tyrannok Chariots, one is already routing, the other one is getting massacred by Dark Shards and Crone Hellebron. Once again, it's a Death Hag, but it's meant to be for Hellebron. And I did forget some of my cavalry, like my Dragon Princes. I think I just put my Dragon Princes into the fight. No, they're back there. They're full health. So with these gigantic fucking armies, there was a lot more than I was used to dealing with, and I did forget some of my units. Silver Helms in the backfield, along with Illyrian Reavers, trying to disrupt some of these Dark Shards and stop them from firing into us. White Lions are holding on the northern flank, while Harpies and the Charybdis and the Hydra and all these things are really disrupting my backline. I do get a nasty breath attack onto the Feral Manticore from my Moondragon, and I'll have to dive onto it soon. Dragon Princes are now joining the fight. Gonna dive in onto these Witch Elves. And I maybe should be focus firing down the Charybdis, but honestly, with how chaotic and big the battle is, I'm like, listen, if you guys are firing, I'm sure that's fine. Enough is happening right now. Imric got a good breath attack onto Malekith before wandering away. He wants to get back out of range of the Dark Shards is the main problem, as I accidentally double-click on them and give you all a bit of a jump scare there. Dark Elf Master is pushed off. Manticore is also going to be pushed off, but now Dark Riders are coming back in from the trees. My archers are still trying to get rid of the Hydra, but it is regenerating and healing and all these things. Imric lands onto Crone Hellebron, or tries to at least. But Dark Shards are already trying to harass him, so he is actually just going to opt out of that. I decided it was not worth it to fight a foot Death Hag in front of all those Dark Shards. Dragon count. We still have a Sun Dragon in the backfield, causing a bunch of annoyances and being tedious. 3/4 HP on that one. Moon Dragon just got a nice breath attack onto some Dread Spears. It's full health. The enemy Charybdis is half HP. Hydra is half HP. Manticores are almost dead, and a lot of the Dark Elf Disruptors aren't feeling too good, but they are still back here. I don't have a ton of archers left. Charybdis is rampaging straight through Lothran Seaguard while Dread Spears come to help out. My dragons are going to have to try and carry the fight, but they're not super sure how to do that. Sun Dragon gets a duel with Malekith. I do give it, I think I gave it Harmonic Convergence. Malekith has Standard Ground. 47-45 for me, 55-72 for him. Yeah, Lore Master's walking over, so Harmonic Convergence is coming in hot. Boom! 71-69 should now do pretty darn well. Moon Dragon and Dragon Princes have showed up to stop those Dark Shards from firing, and now is the time for the High Elves. More Harpies are routing in the backfield, but the Charybdis and the Hydra still being really disruptive, still being a pain in my ass, especially that Hydra with all of his healing. Dragonhorn is popped for Imric, trying to give everybody immune to fear, but also a little bit more melee stats, and he dives back onto Crone Hellebron, who's not having a good time. The Sun Dragon, with its Harmonic Convergence and then Dragonhorn buffs, is chasing Malekith around. He's not having any fun whatsoever with that, and now the Moon Dragon goes to take its place while the Sun Dragon dives down onto the Dark Shards. And my Mage of High Magic will also dive into Dark Shards and try and stop them. High Elves are about even. I was going to say ahead on the balance power for the first time all game, but it is just not true. Crone Hellebron gets routed off by Imric. Phoenix Guard back here fighting the Charybdis along with some Lothran Seaguard who's still trying to shoot it at point-blank range. The Hydra has almost heal-capped itself, and it's still fighting in Lothran Seaguard. The Moon Dragon, again, continues to stay on Malekith. Give him trouble, but it is intercepted by a Manticore who is very weak, so he's probably just sacrificing his life to try and save Malekith. In the back, a very brave Repeater Bolt Thrower is back online. Imric dives the Master, immediately taking him down and trying to save his Dragon Princes, but there are a lot of Dread Spears here. There's 2 full health unit of Dread Spears nearby. Sisters of Slaughter hanging on. We still have some Dark Riders, full health Dark Shard over here, so the Dark Elves are slowly just attritioning us out. Our dragons were not able to do enough. The War Hydra does end up heal capping. Charybdis is still alive. Malekith's not feeling so good. Maybe we can try and snipe him out. But Imric is coming back over to try and help the Mage of High Magic. Dragon Princes will charge Dark Shards. Thankfully, the Dark Shards are not shooting at the Dragon Princes. They should get a charge off faux free. Crush that unit. The Sun Dragon in the back still trying to stop the Reaper Bolt Thrower, but it's taking him forever to do so, so I pull him back. Moon Dragon landed. I think it was chasing Malekith, and he landed while I wasn't paying attention. And it gets torn apart by the Charybdis, Hydra, and Malekith triple combo. So say goodbye to my Moon Dragon, which is a pretty big loss at this point. Lothran Seaguard are still trying to shoot at something, but mostly just being around. And Phoenix Guard fight to death against the Dread Spears. Imric attempting to bail out his mage. It's not working so well, so Dragon Princes charge unbraced Dread Spears and then come over for a rear charge. But as the balance of power is showing, it is a foregone conclusion at this point. The Sun Dragon is floundering against Dark Shards while still being shot by the Reaper Bolt Thrower. still being harassed by other Dark Shards. And of course, Malekith and his two big multi-headed snake monsters are over here killing off some Phoenix Guard, but then they'll be with me shortly. And that is looking like it. Only value of note was Imric did get an impressive 4,500. Everything else kind of mixed. Malekith 4,100, but the actual battle did go to the High Elves. So this one, unlike the Queek one, this one did not go lower accurate. Imric was mostly losing the battle. The High Elves were not having a good time, and then Malekith 1v1'd him, beat Imric up actually pretty bad. Cast him to the ground, and then without his dragon, Malekith walked over to eat him with his dragon, and Imric had no weapon, but then someone you met earlier in the book, a mage from all the way across Ulthuan, kind of like teleports a spear to him. Not exactly, but I'm paraphrasing. Teleports a spear to him, so he's like, oh shit! And as this dragon's going to bite down on him, he grabs the spear that just appeared and slams it into its face. So then the dragon dies, and Malekith falls off of it. No, it doesn't die. It's wounded. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Malekith falls off, and then they 1v1 on the ground for a bit, but Imric's super fucked up. And as he lays almost dying, Malekith's going to deliver the final blow, and the Phoenix Guards show up and stab the shit out of him. And then Malekith uses some magic to get away. But with Malekith dead, then the Dark Elves all break, and the High Elves reign victorious. So, unfortunately, in this battle, I could not kill Malekith, and therefore the Dark Elves held and won the day. So yeah, there you go. Roar! Subscribe, yes, yes.